Dr. James Henderson was shot. I believe the good doctor just might be arriving. Oh, you guys part the waters. There comes a ghost. Oh, goodness. I'm scared.
Good evening, fine townsfolk. Y'all come on around. There's plenty of spots right out here, right in front of the microphone. Come on around. Don't be bashful. I'm Dr. James Henderson, and I was the sawbones around here in the 1890s. Now, some of y'all may not know that we had a little unpleasantness with a vigilante group called the Whitecaps. They were running around here and beating on people and just being real ugly. And well, a group of us got together and we formed a group called the Bluebills to combat them. They were going and visiting people in the middle of the night and whipping them, and they killed a good friend of mine, Mary Breeden, and that was what inspired us to stand up to them. Now, these guys run around like cowards wearing masks in the middle of the night. Estimates run between 900 and 1,500 of them. Ooh. And they went into all levels. There were some in law enforcement, there were some judges. We don't know who, but we do know that when they get in trouble, just nothing seemed to happen. So we took the law into our own hands. We became vigilantes ourselves, the Bluebills. And we made life hard for them for a while. They attacked my house, which stood right over there where the Hatchley Funeral Home is now. Came in force and shot the place up. They didn't know that I knew they were coming, and I had a lot of my Bluebill friends there. They said it took quite a while to gather the dead out of the yard, and the next day there was a rash of suicides around the county. At least they were reported that way. But shortly thereafter, somebody snuck up to my window in the middle of the night. I was in the middle of the evening. I was sitting by the fireplace with my wife and my good friend W.A. Green, and my children were there, and somebody shot me right in the face with a shotgun. Killed me almost instantly. Oh, they trumped up some stuff, said I was running around with somebody's wife, and they put him up on trial, but of course nobody would convict him. So he was acquitted. But let's ask ourselves, who do we really think did it? I mean, they attacked the house in full numbers and it didn't work. They just snuck up in the middle of the night. Or, I mean, if a man was coming after me for running around with his wife, wouldn't he face me on the street so everybody knew he took care of business? I just don't believe it. I don't think I was killed by a jealous husband. I believe I was killed by tyranny. So, good to have all you folks out here with us tonight.
Thank you. And rest in peace.
R.I.P. Tragic circumstances are all around in this old world, whether caused by war, misguided mortality, or simple personal loss. Who is coming here? Is that, I believe it is, ladies and gentlemen, Rindy Bailey. Rindy, why don't you, didn't you die in downtown Sevierville? Why are you joining us tonight?
I came down to help a bunch of ghosts down. Well, you are pretty famous ghost in one of these parts, so please, tell your stories to all these lovely folks.
Sorry. My name is Clarinda Miller Bailey. Folks who knew me best call me Rindy. People in Sevier County, they knew me as a wanderer. I slept in barns and woodsheds, straw bales and fence corners, anywhere that I could shelter from the elements. But I wasn't always a wanderer. I knew love once. I was born to John and Temperance Miller, although not much is really known about my childhood. I married John Bailey in 1861, and we had 2 children, Sarah and Lucy. But then, not long after Lucy was born, I seemed to have lost my place in the world. Some folks say that I lost my mind because of the loss of a child. Other folks say that my husband's family and mine took opposite sides on the war between the states. Others say my husband was heavy-handed and we had marital problems behind closed doors. The truth? Well, my secrets are my own. But what folks do remember is that one day I just started walking, and I kept walking through Sevier County and Knox County, north of the French Broad River, through hollers and crossroads. I just kept walking. You got a nickel or a copper for me? I would yell when I would see a house. Most just shut their doors. Some folks pitied me, some folks feared me, but I never meant to frighten anyone. Although there was one night during a real wicked storm, thunder and lightning, Bruce Underwood was riding through Doug Holler. Now, Doug Holler is full of rocks that are twisted like devils, and folks think that it's haunted. So he let out for Bethel Methodist Church, where he was going to shelter from the rain, and a big old flash of lightning lit, and he saw a wretched creature lurching toward him in the dark. Well, he screamed louder than the thunder. I thought he was going to die, but it was just me. So he and I both sheltered in Bethel Methodist that night. It's probably the finest roof I ever had. Several years later, I had my last meal at Bill Hawkins' house. And he let me sleep on his unheated porch that night to get away from the freezing winds. And then the next morning, I warmed myself on the stove over at Elihu Shepherd's store at Henry's Crossing. Y'all call it Douglas Dam Road now. He had a box of snuff for me. He always gave me a box of snuff. They were both kind men. And that was the last time anybody saw me alive. On a cold February morning in 1894, Bruce Underwood, Bolivar Douglas, he was walking the Underwood farm. And that's when he found me lying under a cluster of white oaks, frozen to the ground. Just a poor old woman dressed in rags with all of her worldly belongings in a satchel beside her. John Underwood gave me a place to rest in the Underwood Cemetery. And Enoch Huffaker, he built me a coffin, and just Romaines, he dug me a grave and they marked it with a field stone. And then several years later, a fine-dressed man came looking for my grave, wanting to give me a proper monument. But by then, that stone was missing. So just like my life, my resting place is lost. So when y'all are walking and you hear those winds whipping through the oaks, and you feel that chill in the air, well, that's me. You listen for my whisper behind you. You have a nickel or a copper from me.